It's pretty serendipitous timing that the Pittsburgh Steelers have been in the news with Mike Tomlin stepping down, because they're a great comparison for what the Boston Red Sox and Arizona Diamondbacks will be this season. Definitely not bad, definitely respectable, better than decent, might even sneak into the playoffs, but if they do, would get absolutely clocked in their first round, with no reasonable mind thinking they ever had a chance to win a championship. The Diamondbacks trading for Nolan Arenado and the Boston Red Sox signing Ranger Suarez are just odd moves, they just are. But you know it wouldn't be an odd move? Subscribing to the channel, because we'll be pumping out opinions on all happenings pertaining to baseball. Now, I'll preface with the fact that they're actually going for it, they're spending money, they're trying to win. And there's going to be 15 teams at least worse than them heading into the year without question. And you'll believe that they can squeak out a series win against almost any team in the league, sans the Dodgers. And you can't say that about a lot of others. A lot of the Rockies, all of the White Sox, all of the Nationals that have been so bad for so long now that you give an arm and a leg, as the saying goes, just to root for a team with a chance to be decent. However, in terms of rationality speaking and prudent baseball decision making, the Sox and the Diamondbacks are making me shake my head. And let's start with the Diamondbacks. They trade for a 34-year-old third baseman who will be 35 in April, who's unequivocally on his last legs as a major leaguer, and it just elicits the question why. You're precluding your top prospect, Jordan Lawlar, at even getting a chance to win a third base gig. It would be one thing if this move was made at the end of spring training after you had laid your eyes on Jordan and deduced that he wasn't ready, but pulling the trigger now makes it a 0% chance Jordan breaks camp with the squad. It also closes the door on a Eugenio Suarez reunion to man third base, at what was becoming a more feasible option with his market seemingly dwindling. So you're not bringing back an elite slugger, but you're also not giving your top prospect a chance? It seems like either one of those moves would make more sense than straddling the fence. Sure, Nolan has less risk than Jordan, but he sure as hell doesn't have the upside, and in Suarez's case, he's just a flat out better player, as recently as last season. And on the broader scope, they don't have any chance of competing in their own division, let alone the league, with the Dodgers obviously in a different tier, the Padres having immensely more talent, and even the Giants with their new manager and a full season of Rafael Devers would at the very least be competitive, so I'm at a loss of what this move accomplishes. Now, what Arizona officials would spit back on me is simply the cost. They didn't give up anything, relatively speaking. They're only taking on $11 million of his over $40 million due, with the Cardinals paying the rest of it, and the asset they gave up is not at all a highly regarded one in Jack Martinez, a former 8th round pick. So from an asset management point of view, I understand it. Let's get a former MVP and multiple-time All-Star glove winner in the building for a couple years for absolutely no cost. However, again, going the younger route with Jordan Lawlar or the better player in Suarez just makes more sense, in my opinion. It seems as though they're barreling toward mediocrity with this move, and it could have been completely avoidable. Now, as it relates to the Red Sox, they're sending us mixed signals as well. If you're a Sox fan, you should be perplexed. Now, not necessarily upset, because no rational fan should be upset by their team now being one of the top free agents and arguably the best arm available. However, why trade and offload Rafael Devers, a future Hall of Famer, and then proceed to fail to re-sign the third baseman you replaced him with, but then shell out big money to Ranger Suarez the next week? Are you going for it? Are you trying to surpass the reigning AL champs in Toronto and the always dangerous Yankees, or are you trying to reload and shoot for competing down the road? Because the answer is seemingly neither, as the rotation will be lethal, potentially the best in the entire game. However, the lineup will be shaky at best because of alluded to moves. As currently concocted, they're a team on the precipice of making the playoffs. However, if they had re-signed Bregman, I would feel more comfortable saying they would be a lock for October. And on the flip, if they did not sign Suarez, it would have given them the ability to reset their payroll and have a younger starting staff. It wouldn't result in a playoff berth, obviously. However, it would be a more decisive decision, and you would have a more decisive direction. That would allow them to go heavy on the free agents next year. But their moves here have put them in no man's land, in my opinion. If you really wanted to win, re-sign Bregman, sign Ranger Suarez, and go for it. But if you're trying to reset by letting Bregman go, then just don't even sign Suarez. See what your team is in internally, and shoot for bigger things in a couple years.
Help me polarize, help me polarize, help me down.
If you like this video, consider commenting, liking, sharing with a friend, and subscribing.